Vaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriya Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 25, how all the residents of Varanasi became Vaishnavas. Text 149 onwards. So last verse we discussed was the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the second verse. Dharma pravajita kyatava atra paramo nirmatsaranam sata vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam तावत्रयो नमोदनम श्रीमद् भागवते महामुनि कृते किंवा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृदय अवरुध्यते अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूभिस्तत्क्षणात्. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need for any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. So this is the beauty of Bhagavatam. First, it rejects all religious activities which are materially motivated, completely taken out. Only propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. Means no contamination of any kind, of any material desires, any intentions for jnana, yoga, anything else, only bhakti. And the highest truth is really distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. It's a welfare of all. It's not just for few, for everybody. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. So threefold miseries, adibhautik, adidevik, adhyatmik, klesh, they're all gone once we start walking on this journey of devotion service. And how to do for Bhagavatam? Just hear, attentively and submissively, hearing the message of Bhagavatam. That's all. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarupa Shri Bhagavat Tate Veda Shastra Haite Paramamat. Srimad Bhagavatam gives direct information of the mellow derived from service to Krishna. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is above all other Vedic literatures. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukha drava samyutam pivad bhagavatam rasam alayam muhoraho rasika. So this is the third verse of Bhagavatam. And it says the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic literatures. And it is considered the ripened fruit of the wish-fulfilling tree of Vedic knowledge. Ripened fruit, nigam kalpataror galitam phalam. Because Vyasadeva, he composed all the Vedic literature, and this is the last literature he composed, Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why it's considered the ripened fruit of the wish-fulfilling tree. And then it has been sweetened by emanating from the mouth of Shukdev Goswami. And when Shukdev Goswami spoke it. No, Bhagavatam is, yes, we read the shlokas, but it's not that Vyasadeva taught one shloka, each and every shloka to Shukdev Goswami. No, he taught whatever happened, the teachings and the incidents. And Shukdev Goswami, when he spoke with his realizations, it became even sweeter. So you who are thoughtful and who relish mellows should always try to taste this ripened fruit. For thoughtful devotees, as long as you're not absorbed in transcendental bliss, you should continue tasting this Srimad Bhagavatam. And when you're fully absorbed in bliss, if you're fully absorbed in bliss, you should go on tasting its mellows forever. That's how sweet it is. It's just like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, every day he would go to Tota Gopinath temple to listen to Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. Every single day. And only 2 chapters they would read and listen to, and they would cry, both of them. Not chapter, the context of Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. That's it. Not the gopis or this pastime, just Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad. It is just so sweet. Vayam tuna vitripyama uttam shloka vikrame yat shrunvatam rasagyanam swadu swadu pade pade. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who enjoy association with him relish hearing his pastimes at every moment. Swadu swadu pade pade means that every moment they relish the stories about him and the hymns and prayers about him. अतएव भागवत करा विचार इह हाइते पावे सूत्र श्रुतिर अर्थ सार. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Prakashan and Saraswati, study Srimad Bhagavatam very scrutinizing. Then you will understand the actual meaning of the Brahma Sutra. Because as discussion with Prakashan and Saraswati, he was speaking on Brahma Sutra from Shankaracharya's point of view. Bhagavad, Mahaprabhu said, just read Bhagavatam, very scrutinizing. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that without studying Srimad Bhagavatam, one cannot understand the purport of the Brahma Sutras, Vedanta Sutra, or the Upanishads. If one tries to understand Vedanta philosophy and the Upanishads without studying Srimad Bhagavatam, one will be bewildered, and construing a different meaning will gradually become an atheist or an impersonalist. So Vedanta philosophy, people are very attached to reading Vedas and the Upanishads, but without studying Bhagavatam, one cannot understand it. Nirantar kar Krishna nama sankirtan, helai mukti pave, pave premadhan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued. So he is speaking to Prakashan and Saraswati. Always discuss Srimad Bhagavatam and constantly chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. In this way, you will be able to attain liberation very easily, and you will be elevated to the enjoyment of love of Godhead. So liberation, all the Mayavadis always talk about moksha, nirvana, liberation. Mahaprabhu said this, you will attain that very easily. This is not a big deal. And moreover, you will be elevated to the enjoyment of love of Godhead, which is higher, way higher than liberation. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kamshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. So one who is thus transcendently situated means in the devotional service, on the path of devotional service, and really has attained Krishna Prem, at once realizes Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. And when Krishna himself said, this is from Bhagavad Gita, he is equally disposed towards every living entity. So equally disposed doesn't mean that he doesn't make distinctions in the sense of consciousness of people. But he sees spiritual soul in everybody, spirit soul in everybody. There's a spirit soul covered with a different body, with different consciousness. Mukta api lilaya vigraham kritva bhagvantam bhajante. Even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He thus installs a deity and renders the Lord service. So this is quotation from Shankaracharya's commentary on Narasimha Tapani Upanishad. This Mahaprabhu covered in the 61 explanations of Atma verse, that even liberated soul merged in impersonal Brahman, he also gets attached to serving Krishna. Parinishthito api naragunya uttam shloka lilaya grihita cheta rajarshe akyanam yad aditva. Shukdev Goswami addressed Parikshit Maharaj, my dear king, although I was fully situated in the transcendental position, I was nonetheless attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Therefore, I studied Srimad Bhagavatam from my father. So this was discussed how Shukdev Goswami, as soon as he was born, he left. He came out from his mother's belly. He was, for 16 years, he was in the womb of his mother. And as soon as he came out, he left the ashram, his father's ashram. Said, I'm leaving. I don't want to get into Maya, get into all the entanglements. And then Vyasadeva sent a couple of his students where his ashram, Shukdev Goswami's ashram was. And he sent his students to sing 2 verses from Bhagavatam. One describing the beauty of Krishna, the other describing the merciful nature of Krishna. And that attracted Shukdev Goswami. And then he came to the ashram of his father, and Vedvyas taught him the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Tasyarvinda nayanasya padarvinda kinjalka mishra tulasi makaranda vayu antargata svavivarena chakara tesham sanshobham akshara jusham api chittatamu. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi leaves and saffron from the lotus feet of the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead entered through the nostrils into the hearts of those sages, the Kumaras, they experienced a change in both body and mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. So this is from Bhagavatam 3rd canto, when the 4 Kumaras went to Vaikuntha and they cursed Jay and Vijay. Lord Vishnu came on his Garuda, and as soon as they smell the tulsi and saffron from the lotus feet of the Lord, their hearts changed. And then this verse, Atma Ramascha Munyo Nirgarantha Pirukrame Kurvanti Haitu Kim Bhaktim Itham Bhutaguno Harihi. Those who are self-satisfied and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Shri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendently attractive features. So this is again from Bhagavatam. Hena kale se Maharashtriya Brahman sabhate kahila se shloka vivran. At this time, the Brahman from the province of Maharashtra mentioned Lord Chaitanya's explanation of the Atmaram verse. Eish lokera artha prabhu ek shashti prakar. Kariyacheni yahashuni loke chamatkar. The Maharashtrian Brahman stated that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already explained that verse in 61 ways. Everyone was astonished to hear this. Tabe sab lok shunite agrah karila, ekashashti arth prabhu vivari kahila. When all the people gathered there expressed a desire to hear again the 61 different meanings of the Atmaram Shlok, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again explained them, all the 61 meanings. Shunya loker bada chamatkara haya, Chaitanya Gosai Shri Krishna Nirdhari. When everyone heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atmaram Shlok, everyone was astonished and struck with wonder. They concluded that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was none other than Lord Krishna himself. Only Krishna could describe that one words in so many ways. Ete kahi uthiya chalila gora hari, namaskar kare loka hari dhvani kare. After giving those explanations again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arose and took his leave. All the people there offered their obeisances unto him and chanted the Mahamantra. Sab Kashi Vasi kare Naam Sankirtan, Preme Hase Kande Gaye kare Nartan. All the inhabitants of Kashi, Varanasi, began chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in ecstatic love. Sometimes they laughed, sometimes they cried, sometimes they chanted, and sometimes they danced. Sannyasi Pandit kare Bhagavata Vichar, Varanasi Pura Prabhu Karila Nistar. After this, all the Mayavadi sannyasis and learned scholars at Varanasi began discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them. So generally they discuss Vedanta Sutra, but once they heard glories of Bhagavatam and especially this Atmaram Shloka, they started discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Nij Lokalaya Prabhu Vaila Vashaghar, Varanasi Haila Dvitiya Nadiyana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then returned to his residence with his personal associates. Thus he turned the whole city of Varanasi into another Navadvip or Nadia Nagar. Both Navadvip and Varanasi were celebrated for their highly educational activities. At the present time, these cities are still inhabited by great learned scholars, but Varanasi is especially a center for Mayavadi sannyasis who are learned scholars. However, unlike Navadvip, there are hardly any devotees in Varanasi. Consequently, a discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam was very rare in Varanasi. In Navadvip, such a discussion was quite ordinary. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Varanasi and turned Prakashanand Saraswati and his disciples into Vaishnavas, Varanasi became like Navadvip because so many devotees began discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Even at the present moment, one can hear many discussions on Srimad Bhagavatam taking place on the banks of the Ganga. Many scholars and sannyasis gather there to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and perform Sankirtan. But nowadays, it's basically just the tourists and the boat wallahs. Nij gan laya Prabhu kahe hasya kare, kashite ami aila vechite bhavakali. Among his own associates, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu laughingly said, I came here to sell my emotional, ecstatic love. Kashite grahak nahi vastu na vikane, punarapi deshe vahi laya nahi yahe. Although I came to Varanasi to sell my goods, there were no customers, and it appeared necessary for me to carry them back to my own country. Ami voja vahimu toma savare dukha haila, toma savare chai vina mulya balai. All of you were feeling unhappy that no one was purchasing my goods, and then I would have to carry them anyway. Therefore, by your will only, I have distributed them without charging. So his goods were Krishna Prem. He was ready to give Krishna Prem. But people were not ready. But it was a wish of his devotees that Maharashtrian Brahman, Chandrasekhar, so they arranged for this meeting. When we began distributing the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Western countries, a similar thing happened. In the beginning, we were very much disappointed for at least 1 year because No one came forth to help this movement, but by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some young boys joined this movement in 1966. Of course, we distributed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without bargaining or selling. As a result, this movement has spread all over the world with the assistance of European and American boys and girls. We therefore pray for all the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu upon all the devotees in the Western world who are spreading this movement. But now, basically, they are all over the world, devotees are spreading. In fact, how this movement started in Russia. Srila Prabhupada was invited in Russia by one Professor Kutowski. So somehow they came in contact, and Professor liked Prabhupada's teachings or writings. So he invited Prabhupada to Russia, to Moscow. Prabhupada went there with Shyam Sundar Prabhu, his disciple. And Prabhupada had some programs in the university, but didn't have good response. And they could not preach on the street because KGB was very, very strong at that time. So Prabhupada would go for a walk and then come back. Shyam Sundar Prabhu would arrange for some food. It was very hard. Shyam Sundar Prabhu explained that very hard to get even milk or bread over there at that time. So one day, Shyam Sundar Prabhu was in the hotel lobby and Prabhupada was in his room, and one person came and he said, "Oh, I'm very interested in learning what you're telling. So please tell me, please make me meet your guru." So Shyam Sundar Prabhu came to the room telling Prabhupada that, "Oh, one person has come, he wants to learn." And Prabhupada, from his room only, without looking at that person then who had come, he said, "Don't invite him, he's a KGB agent. Don't let him in." So Shyam Sundar Prabhu understood that Prabhupada knew who he is. So he went down and he somehow made up some story. He didn't let him meet Prabhupada. But the day they were going to leave, next day they were going to come back to America or go some other place, one person came. And Prabhupada found him genuine, and Prabhupada taught him the whole philosophy. To whatever extent he could understand it, Prabhupada taught him. And that one person started the whole movement of ISKCON in Russia. And in the beginning days, so yes, the other devotees and they were helping him. In the beginning days, we could not take any books in Russia. It was just banned. So what devotees would do, I guess they had smuggled one Bhagavad Gita. So they made copies of every page of Bhagavad Gita, and they would go out and distribute those pages of Bhagavad Gita to people. So they don't get caught and still people have access. And many devotees got arrested, they were tortured in the prison houses. But still they held on, and now the movement is so big in Russia. So yes, devotees have taken lots of chances, and so many people, so many devotees have died also in the process. But this is how the movement has spread. And obviously, everybody gets the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was spreading his message, spreading the Harinam. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. ओके।
प्रभु जी, हमको बना बनाया सब कुछ मिल गया है, हमसे वो भी नहीं हो पा रहा,
ये तो है।
है ना? कितना स्ट्रगल करके कहाँ तक पहुंचाया है मोमेंट को, एंड जस्ट कांट, फॉलो ही नहीं कर पा रहे हम।
क्योंकि हमने कोई स्ट्रगल नहीं की ना,
यस, आराम से मिल गया सब कुछ,
इसलिए वो टेस्ट नहीं आया अभी तक।
टेस्ट नहीं आया। थैंक यू प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्णा।
ओके, थैंक यू माता। हरे कृष्ण, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद।
जय
हरे
श्री
कृष्ण।
प्रभुपाद।